Oh boy, one of those subjects, man. It's one of those subjects. What's going on, guys? It's ladies and gents. It's your boy Coop, man. I'm here with a different type of video tonight. It's kind of been blowing my mind and been weighing on me. Been thinking about it, and I decided tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and just drop a video on it, talk about it, and give my opinion and more of my expert opinion on the situation. So, everyone has seen that Simone Biles, she withdrew out of the single competition for the Olympics. And Naomi Osaka, she got bounced out of the Olympics as well. Now, people are wondering why Simone Biles withdrew. And of course, it was linked to mental health. I think it's one of the biggest things that people from the outside do not understand as an athlete, not as a person working a 9 to 5, a parent, things like that. Of course, mental health is all tied into one thing, but as an athlete, it's a little bit different. And I can touch on this subject because I myself am an athlete currently. Now, of course, I'm not on the level as these young women, some of the men out here, Team USA, NBA, things like that. But I can definitely relate 100% when they're talking about mental health and them not being in the best shape mentally. And the sad part of it is a lot of people are leaving these foul ass comments of especially when I was checking out the videos of Simone Biles, and they were talking about, well, she's an Olympian athlete, she needs to be mentally tough, yada yada yada, X, Y, and Z. She shouldn't have competed. Imagine the people that were behind her, looking for an Olympic spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down real quick. I'm gonna keep it real simple. If the other girls behind her, and no knock to any of them, were as good as her or better, then they would be the ones that were in the Olympics in the first place, right? So you can't blame her for being there and then pulling herself away from it. 2, you gotta have some balls to train for 4 years, not even 4 years, 4 years plus, to prepare yourself for an event that only takes place every 4 years, which is the Olympics, and have the conscience to pull yourself out of it because you are not up to par. Now, up to par doesn't mean necessarily physically. There's plenty of people on the planet that are physical specimens. Like God will never make them again. But if you're mentally out of it, it doesn't really matter what your body is capable of doing, because everything that happens starts here first before anything. So if you're not mentally there, you can't do it. And another point that was made, and it blows my mind that you have these people looking from the outside, or these panelists and these reporters and things like that are able to make some of these comments, and they're never in their life, maybe in another lifetime or another lifetime, would ever be in the position as some of these top athletes. Like, imagine being so good at something that you do, rules and regulations all of a sudden are put into place to the point that, oh, you can't do this now because you're better than everyone. Imagine being better or working harder than everyone else around you in your field, and then a rule or stipulation is put into place. Now you're being brought down because you're so good. No, we're not going to have that. We're going to go ahead and try to even the playing field. As an athlete, there's no such thing as an even playing field. That's why there's such thing as champions. That's why there's such thing as first, second, third place. Because the numbers might be the same by the amount of people that can be on a court or field, but there will always be someone that's better. Always. I've been playing football long as I can remember, right? And I've put in countless amounts of hours of repetitions, sets, hurting myself, eating things I didn't want to eat, training at times I didn't want to train, putting my body through so much stress. And guess what is stressed the most for me? My mental. The body is always going to recover some way, somehow. You give the body an amount of time to rest, the muscle will be back to square one. The mental toll that any type of training or being an athlete, the toll it takes is tremendous. And no one wants to look at that because people are so selfish into what they want, the type of entertainment they want, and on the podium, on the football field, on the court, you're supposed to be entertainment for them and nothing else matters. And it's fucking stupid. People need to grow up. People need to realize, hey, yo, this person is, Simone is only 24 years old. She is a child. She is still a young lady, right? So imagine the amount of hours and sweat and cramps, working out, and blood, aches, and pains that she's put herself through. Yeah, her body may have bounced back from that, right? But her mental probably hasn't. Imagine being one of the best athletes on the planet. She's the number one athlete in her field. No one comes close. The gap is huge, right? But then imagine being ridiculed and criticized because, hey, I'm not feeling right mentally. It's in my best decision and interest to pull myself out. And you have people that have the nerve to be like, oh, suck it up. That's why you're an Olympic athlete. Oh, what is she doing? That's so selfish for the other girls. Think about how you sound, right? Now, there's always a line, right? You're supposed to be mentally tough. You're supposed to be able to push yourself. You're supposed to try hard. Yeah, cool. You're supposed to do all of those things when it comes to anything. And even as an athlete, you have to be able to do those things sometimes. But then you have to also be able to recognize there's a point. There's a point sooner or later you're like, I'm just not there right now. I'm not there. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to push through it and break yourself mentally. That's one of the hardest things to bounce back from, is to have a mental breakdown. It is tough. I can tell you plenty of times that I've pushed myself to the brink and beyond when my mental was like, hey, maybe stop today in the weight room. All right, you lifted enough. All right, you ran enough. All right, you played hard enough. But then, when you're in the limelight, you're so used to feeling obligated of making sure everyone's happy and, everyone's giving you praise and, the sun is shining on you in that moment. And I can tell you now, it is not worth it. Shit is not worth it. So the people out here knocking these two young women on making a decision for themselves, especially like Naomi, she withdrew from Wimbledon because she wasn't mentally there. It's okay. It's alright. Like, at the end of the day, you have to wake up and live and be happy with yourself. None of us should feel that we're out here to the point that we're only to serve and entertain other people like we're fucking puppets or robots. That's why, you have to look at these professional athletes as people. Yeah, they're the 1% of the 1%. Yeah, we get it. They're great. They're fun to watch, right? But at the same time, you should be fucking proud if someone can step away and be like, yo, I don't have it. I'm sorry that I can't bring more of what people want to see, but I'm going to take a step back and, take care of myself, and hopefully I'll be back ready for the next time. People should applaud that. I applaud that as an athlete because that is big. That takes a lot of courage to step away from something that you love, to step away from something that you've worked so hard for your whole life. Like, these are the things that like made their name, being number one in tennis, number one in gymnastics, LeBron being one of the best athletes, basketball players on the planet. You know, imagine living under the shadow of someone like Michael Jordan or, you know, Serena Williams. I can't even think of a name in gymnastics that stands out more than Simone Biles, because in my eyes, she's already goated. Regardless if she would have competed and got first, got third, dropped out completely, she's already goated in her area. She's already there. And like, to be brave enough to like step away from something that she's only lived 24 years, people. 24 years is not a long time. 32 years, I'm 32, not a long time. For her to just step away and be conscious enough, like, yo, I don't have it right now. I can't. I don't feel right doing it because I'm not there. That's okay. Yo, like, big props out to her. And like, for anyone out there that's watching this video, if you ever feel like you're overwhelmed to the point that you will not be at your best mentally and physically, fuck the physical part. Like, your brain lets you know, like, physically, hey, you can dig a little deeper. But once your brain is like, oh no, that's literally all I have. If you have to worry about to be like, yo, I just can't do it right now, I'm sorry. That's okay. Like, make sure that it's okay. I want you to know that it's okay. It's alright to step away. It's alright to take a break. It's alright to get your mind right. Like, it's alright. So, any of the people out here that are watching and, you know, following the coverage of these athletes, you know, Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka, anyone that thinks that them checking out and taking care of their mental is not okay, you're a fucking fool. And that's just straight up. You're a fucking idiot. Chances are, you were just an average person. You made it through high school, maybe went to college, got your degree, worked a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you have no right, if you've never been in the waters of being an athlete and like knowing the amount of time that it takes just to be great, just for a chance to be great. Keep in mind, you can train all these hours, spend all this time working, and all it takes is one slip up, one wrong step, one bad play. Career's over. It takes one. So to be mentally aware of that and still put in years of time and work only to have a chance is already great enough as it is. So I hope anyone that's watching this video, you are not out here knocking these athletes that are taking the time to be self-aware of their mental and taking care of it, because we always fall into the category of entertainment, not seeing the work that has been put in, not seeing the work, you know, the early mornings, the late nights, the muscle cramps, the bruising, the tearing of muscles. It's stressful. It's hard. It's very hard. That's why there's a 1%. That's why there's an NBA. They're the best basketball players in the world. That's why there's an NFL. That's why there's Olympic teams. They are the best. They're the best. So if you've never been in that space, with that bubble or nowhere close, it might be best to just shut your mouth, keep it pushing. You got anything bad to say, keep it to yourself, and you're probably an asshole. So that's my take on it. Shout outs to all of them just taking care of themselves and letting the world know that your mental is important. Y'all take it easy. I'll holla.